love to speak out more, but we know that if you do, you'll get a ministerial or a phone call or a threat to your position or a conversation with your supervisor. So the same people that are attacking public service commissions are actually making it more difficult for you to complain. So that's one thing about Kevin Foley. The other one he said today, and so did Martin Wright, said, oh, don't worry, when we put out a budget, we expect this sort of argy-bargy. I think argy-bargy was the words he looked at. But they'll soon go away. No. Well, we know that this protest has built and built and built, has united not just the trade union movement in the public sector, but has united every single union in this state who's affiliated with the SA units with the Labor Council, because we understand that if you take away the bargaining rights of the sector of the workforce, and if you undermine basic working conditions, you've lost your labour values. So Kevin Foley and Mike Browning need to be reminded by the trade union movement that it was the trade union movement that formed this party. It was the trade union movement that supports them in elections, and if they undermine the labour values that we hold dear, that we actually support every single day in our work, then they might not need our support any longer. Thank you very much. So, we don't want to have 3 more years of a bad Labor government and then end up with a government that's less on our side. We actually need to get Labor values back into the Labor government by targeting the leaders of this party and calling on the goodwill of the others. There are good people in this parliament on the Labor side who have been run roughshod by Brown and Foley, and we need to target them. I'm going to leave you with some things to do. It's very important, now that we've heard from these fantastic people in the upper house, that we will not be passed today. This legislation will not go through today. We have another week at least to be able to do these things, and we need your help. We want you to get on the phone and call your local member. Go and see your local member. Let them know how angry you are. We need you to go online. SA Union's website has a space where you can sign an online petition. But we also need you to turn up on the 26th of October in Victoria Square at midday so we can march to this place, and that's the next time we'll be debating the bill. So, thank you all so much for coming today, and put the 26th in your diary, and let's get a bigger crowd on the 26th. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kenneth. Let's give all of our speakers a big cheer. With a slap in the face for hard-working and loyal public servants. How can any employer be allowed to unilaterally as Premier Kennett did in the 1990s, are ignorant of the impact of those draconian measures had on hard-working families in Victoria. We don't want to repeat that here. From Western Australia, Secretary Tony Walkington says, it's with deep concern that we learn of the South Australian Government's plan to cut 3,750 jobs. The threat to review the no-force redundancy commitment given prior to the March 2010 election and the removal of leave loading and reduction of long service leave undermines good faith bargaining. Just surely the message gets through to Brand and Folly that they've done the wrong thing.
Okay, here we go. Loud as you can, guys. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's exfoliate. 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 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's exfoliate.
I think we prefer workers united will never be repeated. Never be repeated.
Will never be defeated. Workers united will never be defeated. Workers united will never be defeated. Workers united will never be defeated.
Okay, the last thing of the day before we all go back to our respective places and do whatever we do. I don't know what public servants do, actually. We obviously aren't working very much, are we? Maybe the fireys could have a day off. Maybe we could let the prisons just sort of run themselves. Yeah. Maybe the police want to have an early day. Please welcome back Dan McMahon.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'd like to move a resolution for this rally, that this rally expresses no confidence in Treasurer Foley's budget measures. No confidence! Calls on members of the Legislative Council to carefully consider their actions in debating the bills, which undermine